What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers, and join me to talk about Rhys Plumlee, quarterback out of UCF, the very talented Mr. William Yanish III. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear, man. Well, guys, before we get into it, before we talk about this talented QB coming out of Central Florida, be sure if you enjoy the video, give us a like, follow, share, and subscribe on our social media platforms. Facebook and YouTube are the main ones, but you can also go and check us out on our podcast, which is available each and every single week. So, Mr. Yanish, I'll give you the ball, man. What do you think about Rhys Plumlee and how he think he'll stack up in the draft?
Oh, this was actually one of the first evaluations that I did this year, and and I ended up having to follow it up. Of course, I mean, the first time I was just left intrigued by what I saw. I mean, this is a kid that was recruited to Georgia, Ole Miss, a ton of places, and he ended up going to Ole Miss and splitting time with Matt Corral and a bunch of that stuff, and he wanted a chance to play quarterback, instead of part-time running quarterback, for Ole Miss,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted a chance to play baseball as well at the highest level. I mean, this kid excels at everything that he does, and that's how he finally ended up at Central Florida. And I mean, he finally picked his love. He said goodbye to baseball. I'm declaring for the draft. And I mean, I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. Because like I said, I was just left completely intrigued. This kid, is one of the fastest quarterbacks out there, one of the fastest guys on the field at any given time. Outside of his size, he's probably a cheeseburger away from 200 pounds. And, 6 foot with his faux hawk, haircut. And I mean, but I mean, whatever this kid does, he excels at. And I mean, the small school thing kind of has me a little bit wondering, but like I said, it had been his dream to play, both sports at the highest level that he could. And, I mean, so he achieved that. And I mean, in this, quarterback draft class, I mean, there are a ton of quarterbacks, and I don't know, so they might even ask this kid to play, slot receiver or something like that. And I mean, I believe that he could do it. I mean, he's tough, and he definitely needs to learn how to duck on some of his runs, because the NFL is a little bit less forgiving than college, And
Yeah,
he definitely had a problem with some pass breakups, a little bit on the accuracy thing, but that's kind of why he was down, being mentioned, and he's not getting any love in this draft class. And I mean, just as a pure athlete and for love of the game, I mean, this kid he's what you want. He's a high character, I mean, he's got the leadership, he's got, charisma, he's got everything. Just watching him, I follow him on X, Twitter, or whatever it is, and like I said, definitely intrigued by this kid. I was hoping that he was going to show up at the Senior Bowl, because I mean, even Jim Nagy, I mean, he even said he was intrigued. He used the same word I did. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. And other than that, I can't wait to see where this kid goes, and I think he can definitely be a very underrated player for someone in this league. I mean, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think when you look at him, this guy's, you can say he's a freak athlete. I mean, you mentioned he played baseball for quite some time throughout his tenure, and when you look at him, I mean, he's a solid quarterback. All in all, I think that he's got the tools to succeed at the next level. But it's just kind of unfortunate that he's in one of the more stacked draft classes in terms of quarterback that we've seen in quite some time. But the numbers don't lie. He's had a good career overall. 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions this past season, over 2,000 yards. And he's someone who he might be, in a sense, a guy who could be a quarterback in the NFL, could develop into one. But if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, I think that this guy just has the natural athleticism to stay on a team, to be a return man, to be a gadget player like a Taysom Hill. I think that he's got those intangibles, and I think that's what's going to keep him on the roster for a lot of years. And like I said, that's just saying if the quarterback situation doesn't work, hoping the best for the young kid. But I like to look at all of the options here, and I see someone who is a dual sport athlete at 2 Division I programs, and I want to maximize his potential as much as I can. And whether that be as a potential backup quarterback leading into a starting job, or someone who just maybe want to be a backup quarterback, or could emerge as a starter. We don't know yet. I think that John Rhys Plumlee is someone who will stick around in the league for quite some time. Because as you mentioned, he's got solid passing numbers. His rushing numbers are also really good when you look at how he's been able to get it done, over 500 yards this past season on the ground. And obviously a lot of touchdowns is also, but I think that he's someone who is kind of maybe a guy who's in the dark, who we're trying to bring to the light, and could really help out a team in more than one way when you look at players in the draft. Because you're looking to fill positions, you're looking to fill roles, but you're also looking for guys who are good in the clubhouse, good in the locker room, and that can help out in practice, that can help out any way possible. And this guy just seems like a guy who is solid in every sense of the word, and he's going to get better each and every single day. But what do you have any final thoughts on Mr. Plumlee here, Mr. Yanish?
Well, I mean, I was just trying to come up with a team. I thought maybe might draft him, and staying right in Florida. Mike McDaniel's and the Miami Dolphins. That almost seems like one of his late round flyer kind of picks. I mean, like I said, man, anytime this kid has a ball, he's a threat to score, and that's kind of a Miami philosophy down there. And I mean, I don't know, late round flyer is not going to hurt with somebody who, like you said, that's so versatile, can do so many things on the field, and whether it's gadget play, whether it's backup play, he fits so many of those roles. I mean, he should stick in the league for a while. I would definitely see that. His love is quarterback, and his love is football. So I mean,
he chose it. I mean, he literally chose it over baseball, and he was a talented baseball player.
Yeah.
He's a solid athlete, and that's why I think he'll stick around the league for quite some time.
Oh, that's like the spring game last year at UCF. He went over there, played 7 innings of the baseball game, jumped on a golf cart, went over the
jumped
stadium.
On a golf cart and said, "All right, time to go." Was getting changed on the golf cart. On his way. So this guy is definitely a really cool story. Very talented college career, and we'll see what happens to him at the next level, man. But as always, William Yanish, man, appreciate you coming on and talking about John Rhys Plumlee here today. I've been your host, producer, Logan Landers. Guys, if you enjoy the episode, be sure to check us out on our social media platforms and on our podcast as well.